Hello everyone, welcome to the virtual community of practice. Before we begin, I just want to acknowledge and thank you for logging in today. From wherever you are, whatever time zone that you are in, whether it's morning, noon, or night, we welcome you. We know that your time is valuable and we appreciate your commitment and willingness to log in and join us today. My name is Jamie Markey with Helen Sanderson Associates, and I will be guiding us through today's video. Our hope is that with these videos and this community of practice, that we can create a space where all people, family members, people that receive supports, providers, community members, can log into a place that has practical and meaningful resources that you can use as soon as you log off from this video. Our intention is to create a community within California or beyond where people can connect, share stories, share successes, work through barriers, and we hope that these videos are just a starting point in creating that community. Because we know that true change is going to take time. We also know that it's going to take each and every one of us. If there's anything that you ever need, please feel free to reach out to us. If you need additional resources, want to connect with other members within your community, know that we are available at any time. These videos are self-paced, which means that you can pause, rewind, or even share with other members within your community at any point. Within each video, there will be a workbook that we will ask for you to download. For today's series, we will ask that you download the 5 Valued Experiences Part 1. Each workbook is a fillable PDF, which means if you download it, you should be able to type directly into it, or you can print it out. But know that throughout each video, we are going to ask that you do some journal reflections, maybe make some commitments to yourself or the people around you, and really dive into how do we make a positive impact in the lives of others? How do we support people in living a life of their choosing, in the communities that they want, with the supports that they want and need? So once again, we'd like to thank you for being here. We know that your time is valuable and we appreciate your commitment to supporting others. How we intend to use the time together within this video is we want to identify what does it mean to be person-centered opposed to system-centered. We know within the HCBS Final Rule that we are shifting away from system-centered approaches and into person-centered. So we'll watch a brief video of what this actually means. We'll briefly discuss the final rule, and the intention of that is really to go back to the why. Why are we doing this? What is the impact that it's going to make? Because we believe that this will inform the work that we do and the discussions we have moving forward. We'll introduce the 5 Valued Experiences by John and Connie O'Brien, which really align with everything that we see within the HCBS requirements, but it connects people to community and membership. And to end the video, we will ask that we do some self-reflection on what is possible, what can we do when we are supporting people to have opportunities within the 5 Valued Experiences. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to introduce this video by Beth Mount. If you don't know who Beth Mount is, she is an absolutely amazing human being that believes all people should live a life of their own choosing and that all people matter and fit in somewhere within their community. It's really just discovering a person's capacities and gifts and supporting them in connecting those capacities. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at this video.
From the origin of person-centered planning, we were trying to understand and see what it looks like when we just fit people into systems and defined their needs and saw them through the eyes of what a system needs for a person to be in order to generate the funding that's required and to basically service them. And system-centered work tends to be based on a medical model which assumes something's wrong with people, and it's the system's job to fix them. And so the system is invested in defining them in terms of their deficiencies and creating a treatment plan, and then working to help people get it right before they get to be members and be whole people in the real world. So person-centered planning offers a major contrast to that, which is to say that people don't belong to systems. They belong to themselves, they belong to their families and their communities. And if we see them in a different light by the capacities that they bring, and we understand that their communities are the place where they can contribute and be citizens, then our thinking shifts dramatically from how to fit people into systems and service them there to how do we support people to live good lives in community, and then how do we take what we need from systems and services so that services are not bad, they just tend to be wired for their own purposes, for their own self-interest. So a good person-centered planning process calls into question the way we use services and invites us to really change the way most of our services are configured to be more responsive to the people and the way that they want to live in the communities that they're in.
Contact us for more information.
All right. I know for some of you that video may not be new, but I do think it's a great video to really encompass what we are striving for. And it's interesting that what this video represents is something that we have been striving and advocating for years, well before the HCBS Final Rule. Because I do believe that none of us have gotten into this field because we believe people are broken or that they need to be fixed. I believe all of you that are here today are here because you believe in people and you want to support people to live in a world where they can thrive. And as we do that, it is important to remember that there are things that we can continue to do to support people in living that life. Whether you have been practicing person-centered for years or you are new to the concept, there are still things that we can do to shift away from a system response and into a person-centered response. So I'd like you to take a few moments to really reflect on where are there opportunities where you can help your organization or family member be more person-centered than it is today. And I want to emphasize the fact that we're saying than it is today. Because as I just said, you are here right now because you are committed. Even though we have not met, I'm willing to bet that you are already embedding person-centered practices, whether you're calling it out or not. And that speaks to the commitment that you make to the people that you support. So whether it's supporting someone in a grocery market to pay for their own groceries, to connect with the sales clerk, whether it's changing your language or supporting people in advocating for the supports that they want, where are opportunities that exist for you to be a little more person-centered than you are today? So go ahead and pause the video for a few moments, and I suggest you take some notes to just call attention to the opportunities that present themselves. All right, I hope that you had a moment to go ahead and reflect on the opportunities. And as we're thinking about opportunities, I do really believe that it's important that we connect back to the why. Why are we doing this? What is the purpose of the HCBS Final Rule? Because we know that within the Final Rule, it is a requirement. There are regulations. But the HCBS Final Rule goes beyond regulations. It is really a commitment to empowering people to live a life of their choosing within their communities. And so when we break down the Final Rule and we get rid of all the system language, it really is about supporting people to live the lives that they want, have the supports that they need within their own communities. And the rule strives to ensure people have the same opportunities and experiences as everyone else. The rule empowers people to live in their communities alongside all people. They're not secluded or segregated, to have freedom, respect, privacy. And if we look at the requirements within the Final Rule, it speaks to that. To have access to the community, to have dignity, respect, to have choice within their life. And as we started pondering, what are the resources that will really support providers, family members, people, advocates, community members to continue to move towards person-centered practices, we started thinking about the 5 valued experiences. And the 5 valued experiences was created by a man named John O'Brien and his wife, Connie. And they believe that all citizens have better life chances and everyone's world grows more interesting when communities offer rich opportunities for people to have the 5 valued experiences. And the 5 valued experiences is really about membership, belonging. It's about autonomy, respect, inclusion. So we want to explore what those valued experiences are. And if you do some research on the 5 valued experiences, John and Connie O'Brien, they believe that all human beings, all of us, need to experience certain things if we are going to have a sense of membership. And what are those experiences that we can lean on others for support? And what John does so brilliantly is he takes these huge concepts and philosophies and academia and really breaks it down into what are practical things that all people need and want in their life, and where are the areas that others can support those efforts. So they came up with the 5 valued experiences, which is belonging, being respected, sharing ordinary places, contributing, and choosing. And right here, if you notice, there are a lot of similarities within the 5 valued experiences as the HCBS requirements. We see community, we see choice, being respected. And if we're able to have those 5 valued experiences, we have a sense of membership within our community, and whatever community that looks like. So let's take a moment to dive a little bit deeper into each experience. At the beginning of the 5 valued experiences, we start with belonging. And as human beings, we all have the foundational need to feel that sense of belonging. It is at the core of who we are. And this means belonging to different kinds of relationships and groups, and feeling that sense of fitting in somewhere, being a part of something that is meaningful to you. And if you think about where you belong and the various groups, it could be family, friends, neighborhood, churches. I like to say I feel a sense of belonging when I'm surrounded by other moms. These groups help us discover who we are and what matters to us. But here's the thing, you can't really belong unless you are actively involved in your community and groups. And that takes work. It means that you have to take part and be a part of these groups. And we can support people in having a sense of belonging by supporting people in making connections, making friends, and building relationships. And we do this by listening deeply to what the person wants and needs, and then actively pursuing it. We also have being respected. And this means being respected as a whole person whose histories, capacities, identity, sexuality, and futures are worthy of attention, and whose gifts engage them in valued social roles. And when we talk about communities, we often think about groups of people who have similar interests and goals. But if we peel that back just a little bit and think about what is at the core of being a part of community, it is being respected. It's being valued within that group. It's being seen for who you are, your gifts, your talents, your weaknesses, to be seen as your whole self and being acknowledged and celebrated for that. We can support people to express what is important to them by joining and taking action to what matters most to them, to have valued social roles within their community. And as we look for places that welcome and respect others, it's important that we address and share ordinary places and activities with others. While breathtaking destinations often grab our attention, it is really those ordinary places that play an essential role and part in our daily lives. What can seem like mundane spots, whether it's a local park, a neighborhood cafe, a street corner, actually make a significant impact in our lives. Those ordinary places are places where we gather, we chat, we connect authentically. I mean, think about the local cafe, and you have the people that show up every day, and that is their community. It's places where countless human interactions take place, where connections are built. And also, as we think about ordinary places, I want you to think about, where's an ordinary place that you share? Where is a place that you go to for comfort, for peace? Oftentimes when we ask people this, we hear the beach, the park, the sand beneath my toes. For me, it's sitting in the grass at the park across the street. These ordinary places bring calm to our lives. We find peace. And when we're supporting people and discovering ordinary places, it's important to note that we really do need to have community presence in order to share those ordinary places. And that's when we assist people in making the best out of community activities, which therefore develop our community presence. And when we are actively participating in our community and sharing those ordinary places, it's important to note the power of contributing. And we invite you to think about contributing as an essential piece of who we are. It's not just a choice, but it's a responsibility that we all share. Our contributions, whether they're big or small, have a ripple effect and can bring positive change that shapes our future. Contribution fosters a sense of belonging and purpose. And when we actively participate in our communities, our workplace, within our families, we become an essential piece in something bigger than ourselves. And this sense of belonging can only boost our self-esteem and our well-being. And as providers, we can support people in contributing by actively discovering and developing people's gifts and capacities. Beth Mount spoke to that in the video. And when we do that, when we highlight and honor a person's capacities, they continue to build competency and confidence in who they are and what they can contribute to society. And last but not least, we have choosing. And this is choosing how people want to live, with whom they live with, and they can make decisions in everyday situations that reflect what is important to them. This is having the freedom, the supports, the information to make the same choices as anyone else. And we can encourage people to strengthen their voice, to have their voices be heard, if we continue to encourage them to make choices, regardless of their mode of communication, People should always have the opportunity to choose. And when we prioritize the 5 valued experiences, belonging, contributing, being respected, sharing ordinary places, and choosing, we create an environment where people can lead more fulfilling lives. And society, our community, actually becomes richer for it. Our community becomes more inclusive, and people are better equipped to face daily challenges for themselves or to have the supports that they need in place to overcome those challenges. So now that we've reviewed the 5 valued experiences, and I know this was quick, but you do have a summary of each valued experience in your workbook on page 5 and 6. You can utilize that at any time. We are going to ask you to do some journaling. And what we would like you to do is please turn to page 7 in your workbook. I'll give you a moment to do that. And on page 7, you will see each valued experience. And you'll also notice 2 questions. The first is to think about a time where each of these valued experiences was present in your life. And when you think about that experience that was present, how did it make you feel? What were the feelings attached to that experience? And on the other hand, we also want you to think about how did it feel when that valued experience was absent in your life? I know for me, when I feel the sense of belonging and contributing are absent in my life, I say I'm in a rut. I feel sad. I feel depressed. I feel like I'm not contributing fully to who I am or to the greater purpose that I have in life. And it can get me down. So I want you to think about when it's present and when it's absent and how that makes you feel, and capture that on page 7. We recommend 5 to 8 minutes. Give yourself time to really sit in those feelings and capture what is coming up for you. So go ahead and pause the video, and once you're done, go ahead and press play and we will continue on. All right, hopefully that was enough time. If it wasn't, again, you are in control over this video, so go ahead and pause it and take all the time that you need. I hope that as you were reflecting on the feelings, it connected the importance of each valued experience. And as we are reflecting on the feelings, the impact that this can have in our lives, we want to start to think about what about the people that receive supports, the people in our life, and what is present for them and what is absent. So in a moment, I would like you to pause the video again, and on page 8, I would like you to truly dig deep and think about what can we do to support people in your life to have those valued experiences, because we know what it feels like when they are absent and when they are present, and we want to continue to support people to have membership, to have belonging, to have choice and dignity and respect in their life. So what are the small things that we can do to ensure that all people have that? So go ahead and pause the video and give yourself about 5 minutes to jot down what commitments you have that you can leave this video with. All right. Hopefully you were able to create some action steps moving forward. This is the end of this video. If you would like some resources on specific skills and tools that you can utilize to support people in the 5 valued experiences, please turn on the next video, which will be the 5 valued experiences Part 2. I want to thank you for your time and your commitment, and I hope that today was insightful, and hopefully you continue on with these video series. Thank you very much.